Yes, good morning, students, and welcome to the recap session. So, this is the recap session for Tally. Uh, we have with us here Vivek sir. Good morning, Vivek sir, and a warm welcome to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, sir. You may please start the sessions.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the virtual training session, recapping session on computerized accounting with Tally, coordinated by the Institute of Cost Accountants of India. I'm Vivek VM, CPA, Certified Public Accountant from AICPA, and I will be conducting this online session on behalf of the Institute of Cost Accountants of India. The primary goal of this session is to provide a comprehensive understanding of computerized accounting and the preparation of a financial statement. It aims to emphasize the relevance of these skills for future career opportunities. Computerized accounting is the gateway to the modern accounting era. While you may have heard about it in the past, this training will give you the confidence to effectively apply these skills in the future. We understand the importance of a practical based training for CAT students. Our aim is to create commerce professional with enhanced employability through skill development. In the previous sessions, we discussed about the basics of an accounting, such as an accounting standards, which is set of a principles and concept of a financial reporting. Actually, the journal, profit and loss account, balance sheet, everything we are preparing based on the concepts and principles. You are not creating anything, or you are not discussing, or you are not preparing anything from the imaginary world. Actually, you are preparing the balance sheet and the journal entry. If you are passing the journal entry or converting transaction into journal entry, also if you are preparing the financial statement based on the principles and the concepts, that's a very important factor, my dear friends. If you have any confusions, like for your maybe you guys are not comfortable with the journal entry, if you face any difficulty for the journal entry, the main important reason is you don't know the principles and concepts. like you know So this is not an essay writings. Like an essay, what is the essay writing is doing? You are just something in taken from the imaginary world and you are noted down. But the transaction, this is an accounting, this is a language of business. This is prepared.
Sir, your voice is not audible, sir. Hello, sir.
Hello, hello.
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Now I can hear you. Earlier, your voice was not audible, sir. In between,
Okay,
it went blank, sir.
okay. So back to the point again, students. So what we are discussing about that our ultimate intentions. So to understanding the importance of practical based trainings, also understanding to the importance of an accounting. And our aim is to be create the commerce professional with enhanced employability through skill development. And in the based on that, in the previous session we discussed about the basics of accounting. It doesn't matter whether you are learning Tally or any other software, the base is important is an accounting. So as I told you that in the Tally, journal is an input. If you give an input, or if you are enter input properly, you will get an output and fine output from that particular software. So take an examples of a Tally. In Tally, what we are going to do after creating the company information, we are creating in Tally. We can take an examples of a Tally. So Tally, we preparing financial statements. So also at the time of passing each journal entry, how the journal entry will create an impact on the financial statement, we are looking on that. So the our input is journal entry. We are after creating company, we are entering journal entries into that particular software. We are creating chart of accounts or a ledger account. After that, with the help of a voucher key, we are passing the journal entry. After that, we will be getting a looking in the reports. We are downloading or we are verifying the financial statement, balance sheet, profit and loss account, and income statement, cash flow statement in the report section. So if you are providing output properly, you will be getting if you are providing input properly, you will be getting fine output. That is the concept of the accounting software. So if you have any difficulty to facing for an accounting or a journal, so journal is a very important factor. This is not only for your examination. If you are working in the future, when you are going for an ice breaking career, if you are going for an employment perspective, journal is an important factor. Because any software, any company, if you have a transaction, you need to be converted into the journal. Journal is an important factor. If you have any, and also the financial statement. So as an accountant, our responsibility is to preparing three financial statements, that are balance sheet, income statement, or a profit and loss account, and cash flow statement. So balance sheet will help you to understand, or the management will understand, that what is the financial position of the business. And income statement will help you to understanding what is the financial like performance. And the balance sheet is position, and this is the performance. And the cash flow statement will give you an understanding about that, what is the availability of a cash, what is the uses and the sources of a cash. So for important factor, this is output all prepared by the an accounting software. So if you need to be providing input, so if you need to be preparing all these three financial statement, journal is an important factor. So as I told you that all these financial statement, journal, ledger, trial balance, everything we are preparing based on the principles and concepts. So that means principles and concepts is very important for an accounting. So if you don't know that an accounting, that is a main factor. So without knowing these concepts and principles, you can't find out, you can't prepare the financial accounting. So that is why maybe you are majority of the 90% of students is facing difficulty on accounting. Why? Because they are not studying the principles and concepts. Take an examples of a journal entry. So for example, one transaction is Arun or Arun or Jane started a business with a cash, right? What is the journal entry? We are debiting cash account debited to capital. So majority of the students is recording this journal entry. Maybe they are something in their mind, in their +2, on their in first level of accounting, they are always entering this journal entry in their notebooks or in the software or in the computerized systems. That's why they are recording cash directly and credit into this capital account. Right, understand. So this is the very important factor, but they don't know that why they are debiting cash, why they are crediting the capital account. The reason is you don't know the debit and the credit rules. Golden rules of an accounting is important. Debit and credit rules as an important. That is what I'm trying to say, that concept and principles is very important factor for an accounting. Right. So what is the debit and credit is ruling telling? If expenses is increasing, asset increasing, we need to debit. If the liability is decreasing, we need to be credit. Right. This is the rules. Right. And if the liability is increasing, we need to be credit. So this is the rules. So what is the if expenses or asset is increasing, we are debiting. That's why we are debiting the cash. Take an examples of an expenses, rent paid. What is the journal entry? We are debiting the rent, crediting the cash. Why? Because if the expenses is increasing, that is the debit and credit rules. If expenses is increasing, we need to debit. Understand? So actually that is the debit and the credit rules. My dear friends, if you have any confusion related to that one, you need to understand the principles and the concepts is very important for an accounting. No need to, that is what I'm repeating again. No need to be take anything from the imaginary world. Everything is in your hand. Take with an example on that, prepare on that well, right? So after that we discussed about that how to create a company. So later we discussed about the three financial statement. In accounting we discussed about the three financial statement. Also we discussed about the accounting cycle, and also we discussed about the how journal entry impact the financial statement. And in the tally we discussed about the how to create a company and how to prepare a chart of accounts or a ledger account, voucher entry. Also we discussed about the inventory management, GST, and financial reports. We already discussed about that. So in this session, and we discussed about the payroll accounting as well. So in this session, so we are going to discussing about another important topic we missed out in the last 10 days classes. We missed out because we are running out of time. That's why we are postponing that particular section into recapping section. That is TDS, tax deducted at a source. Have a look. I hope you can see the screen. So next we are going to discussing about the TDS. So I'm not taking too much of these things. You need to understand the basics of TDS. Then only we can pass the journal entry, or then only we can record it into this in financial statements. If you need to be pass the journal entry, if you need to be financial statement, we need to know this TDS. Then only we can pass the journal entry. Then only we can understand in that how this help you, or how this will create an impact on the financial statement. So we can discuss about the TDS. TDS is tax deducted at a sources. I repeat again, TDS is a tax deducted at a source. It is set up by the income tax department. I hope you that income tax subject you already learned from your theoretical classrooms. Income tax and GST, basics of a customs. I hope you that in the statutory compliance, we have a topic on the statutory compliances of the theoretical classrooms. I hope you guys already learned the basics of an income tax and TDS also you learn from your theoretical classrooms. Just recapping that theoretical classrooms knowledge as well, what you learned from your institute. Here what I'm trying to say that TDS is a tax deducted at a source. It is set up by the income tax department for tracking the financial transactions. We are transferring some amount to some particular persons. If you are transferring that particular amount, so income tax department is set up this TDS for tracking the financial transaction. How much of amount you transferred, at what is the basis of that transactions. So how much of amount you transferred. So that is the concept of a TDS. If you are, as per the rules is saying that if you are transferring some particular amount to some person based on the based on the some rules, or some duties, you need to be deducted some amount from that particular at the time of payment, and you need to remit into this income tax department. Actually that is simply we can talk, it's an advanced tax payment, right? For example, so if I'm transferring particular amount to your account, so if you I'm what is the basis of transaction? Because you make some duties, or you have helped me for some works, so for that purposes I transferring some amount to your account. So as per the income TDS rules, I need to be deducted some amount from at the time of payment, and that particular amount I need to be deposited into this government account. So you will get the refund, or you will get the refund, or you need to be make an additional payment apart from this TDS amount. You need to make it at the time of return filing, income tax return filing, ITR filings. So that is actually the concept of TDS. And as I told you that TDS is a collected tax from various sources. We have a different sources. TDS is collected by the at the time of payment. Who are making the payment? He is the responsible persons to deduct the TDS. I repeat again, who are responsible making the payment, who are responsible persons to make the payment. He is responsible persons to deduct the TDS. After the deducting the TDS only, that particular person transferring amount to that person's account. That is what I'm trying to say, that TDS is deducted based on the payment basis they are deducting. The TDS is deducted based on the payment. Understand? So that is the deduction. We have a different various sources. That's also we are discussing about that. And as per this concept, a person who is liable to make a payment, that is who in another person is deductee. Deductee is the deductor and deductee. That is also you need to understand about that. And also we have a 26 AS. So if you deducted, suppose if your payment is deducted, suppose just imagine that, take an examples of employer and employee cases, then only you can easy to understand. Suppose if you're working in an organization, as per the rules is saying that there is a deduction, TDS will be deducted on the salary. So your employer is deducting the TDS from salary at the time of payment. So you will get a salary after the deduction of TDS only. So employer deducted amount, employer remitted into this government account. So you will get a refund, or you need to make an additional income tax payment at the time of income tax return filing. So you can find out this amount, how much of the TDS is deducted, at what is the basis of deduction, and what is the percentage of the deduction. The whole details you will get in your 26 AS. The whole details you will be getting in your 26 AS, but no worries about that. The detailed description idea about the 26 AS, you will get a e-filing return. There have a practical session for e-filing. The in e-filing session you will get an idea about the 26 As. You can understand in that how to view the 26 As. But here what I'm trying to say, that if your TDS is deducted, if you are deducted any TDS amount at the time of receiving any amount, that particular TDS amount is remit into the, who are going to be responsible, who is responsible persons to deduct the TDS, he is remit into this government account. So you can view your amount and all the details and the percentage, the nature of payments, and percentage of the deduction, the whole the details you will get it to your 26 As, the form 26 As. How to view the 26 As forms, that is the different part that will you are going to study in your e-filing written classrooms. Understand? Then 26 AS, I already told you that 26 AS is the PAN number related to the all the deduction is related to your PAN number. Because if you are opening a salary account, if you are need to be opening a salary account in a particular company, or if you need to be any bank account, that is related to link with a PAN number. So if you are working in an organization, your employer is going to be deducted the TDS, you need to be submitted to your PAN number to your deductor who are going to be deducting this amount. You need to be, who are making the payment, you need to be transfer your or give your PAN number also, because TDS is deducted based on your PAN number as well. Understand? Right? That's why you can see in your 26 AS forms, that's why you can see the 26 AS in your account, because every deduction is based on the PAN number. Then rate of TDS, as I told you that TDS is deducted by the payer who are making the payment. I repeat again, TDS is deducted by the payer who are making the payment. He is responsible persons to deduct the TDS. I repeat again, TDS is based on the payment. Who are making the payment, he is responsible persons to deduct the TDS. Example, take an examples of a salary. Who are making the payment? Employer. Who are receiving the salary? Employee. At the time of making the payment to employee, the employer is the responsible persons to deduct the TDS. After deducting the TDS only, the employer transferring this amount to employee account. The deduction details, amount of deduction, the whole details, employee will get it in their form 26 As. Right? In form 26 As, the whole deduction details, how much of amount deducted, what is the percentage and what is the section, every details the employee will get it from form 26as. From where will get this 26as? In their e-filing account. Income tax return, they need to be create an account. No worries about that, that all the procedure reveals comes under the e-filing. Right. So here I'm going to be discussing about that. What is the rate of TDS means? Taken examples of a salary. Salary is an example of a nature of payment. As I told you that who are making the payment, he is responsible persons to deduct the TDS. I repeat again, in the case of employer and in the case of salary, taken examples of a, in the case of salary, salary is deducted by the employer, and that employer after deducting the salary, like a TDS deducted from the salary, that particular amount are transferring to the employee account. So employee will all the get their details in the form 26as, and also if they are eligible to get a refund after the filing income tax return, maybe they will get a refund, depends upon the calculation and computation, maybe they are eligible or employee will eligible to get a refund from the income tax department, or they need to be pay an additional amount to the department, right? And employer will deduct, employer is a responsible person, as I told you that as per the TDS rules, as per the TDS rules, employer is responsible persons to deduct it from amount from the salary. That deduction amount, this employer remit into the government account. Here in example, what is the, as I told you that nature of payment or nature of deduction or nature of sources is salary, and what is the percentage of the TDS? That is the slab rate is the percentage. Based on the slab rate, we have a slab rate. Am I right or wrong? New regime and old regime. I hope you that you have to be understanding. You get a detailed idea about the slab rate or a tax rate in their theoretical classrooms. So TDS rate for salary is the slab rate. And suppose if you are not submitted into the not to submit your PAN to your employer, maybe the employer is responsible persons to collect the PAN from employee, because based on the PAN they are making the payment to the department. If you are not submitting your PAN to employer, employer have a right to deduct the 20% from the salary, right? And also this is all comes under the e-filing of, if TDS is not deducted and the TDS is deposited, that will comes under the e-filing return. So then another a nature of payment is interest on security. Interest on security, you know that if you're working as an accountant, like your company, one of the investors or a debenture holder is purchasing a debenture from your company, and you need to be interest, you need to be make an interest or a pay interest to your debenture holders. If it is a shareholder, you need to be make a dividend, you need to be pay the dividend to the shareholders. If it is a debenture holders, you need to be pay the interest. So if you are paying an interest or a dividend, 10% you need to be deducted. Right. This is 190, 193, 194. This is comes under the sections. Okay, 193, 194 is comes under, and 194. These are all the sections. Then horse race. Horse race also, if you're winning from the horse race, 30% deducted from the TDS. After, if you are participating in a horse race, so if you are receiving any horse race winning amount from that particular organizer, after deducting 30% deduction only, you will receiving a winning amount. And if you are a contractor or a subcontractor, if you are working as a contractor basis or a contract basis, so if you are receiving more than 30,000, if you are receiving more than 30,000 in an year, who are making the payment, he is responsible persons to deducted the 1%. If you are a company, another person, 2% you need to be deducted. Suppose if you are forget to submit it to the PAN to your payer, 20% will be deducted from your contract amount. Right. And also this is the an examples of insurance. If insurance is comes under 194D and the rate is 5% and this the 10%. If you are making a more than 50,000, you need to be deducted 5% of, if it is a company, you need to be deducted 10%. And other commission, Right? Brokerage 5% you need to be deducted. Understand? So this rate sections rate, as an accountant, you are responsible persons to understand the percentage and percentage also you need to be and understand what is the threshold limit and the percentage. As an accountant you need to understand the percentage and percentage and sections and percentage sections and the threshold limit you need to understand. If you are an accountant, you need to understand the percentage of the deduction, threshold limit of a deduction, sections of a deduction. You need to understand, because if you are an accountant, if you are making a payment, right? If you are working as an accountant in an organization, if you are making payment to any person, you are a responsible person to deduct the TDS. After deducting the TDS only, you need to transfer this amount to your who are receiving the amount. After deducting the TDS only, you need to transfer the amount. That is also very important factor. Then rent. Take an example. Another one is rent. 194IE is the rent section. So what is rent? So take an example. If you are working as an accountant in an organization, I repeat again, if you're working as an accountant in an organization, if your organization running, I repeat again, if you're working as an accountant in an organization and your organization running in a rental building, you need to make a payment to your building owners. As a tenant, you need to make a payment to the building owner. Definitely the company making this payment to the building owner, what they are doing, right? What they are doing. So the TDS is telling like that, if you are making more than in an year, if you are making a payment more than 2,40,000, if you are making a payment more than 2,40,000 in an year, you need to deduct 10 percentage. You need to deduct 10 percentage of the TDS. After deducting the TDS only, you need to make a payment to your building owner. So the building owner, you need to be collected the PAN number of a building owner, because based on that PAN number, you are making the payment to the to the department. Understand? I repeat again. This is what I'm repeating again and again. If you are crossing the limit of 2,40,000, I repeat again. If you are crossing the limit of 2,40,000 in an year, you need to be deduct 10 percentage of the TDS before you are making the payment. So because who are making the payment? The tenant is making the payment. Who are receiving the amount? The owner is receiving the amount. Who are making the payment? The building or the tenant is making the payment to the building owner. So if you are crossing more than 2,40,000, if you are making a payment more than 2,40,000, you need to deduct 10 percentage TDS from your payment. After deducting this 10 percentage TDS only, you need to make the payment. Understand? I hope you that you got an understand about that. Take an example here is there. Office is running in a rental building. Take an example. Monthly rent is 25,000. Monthly rent is 25,000. Take an example. If you are making a 25,000 per month, 25,000 into 12, total 3 lakh. The crossing the threshold limit. So you are deducting the TDS. What you are going to do? So every month is a 25,000. 25,000 into 10 divided by 100. That is 2,500. 2,500 you need to be deducted. These 2,500 you deducted from this 25,000. That means 22,500 only you need to make a payment to your building owner. These 2,500 you need to filing income tax department. You need to file this government account. I repeat again, or union government account. You need to be make this 2,500 to union government account. The building owner will get all these details. How much of amount deducted? What is the percentage? The detail. What is the section? The details can see in their 26 AS. The building owner can see in their 26 form 26 AS. They can see the TDS deduction rate and amount. Understand? So as an accountant, this is your responsibility, because you are working as an accountant in your organization. That means you need to know the TDS rules, right? You are deducting the 20, if you are making a payment to the building owner, so what is the journaling, or what is the making the payment, how much of amount you are making? So as I told you that 2,40,000 is rules. As per the TDS rules is telling like that the threshold limit is 2,40,000. If you are crossing more than 2,40,000 in an year, you need to deduct the 10% of the TDS. After deducting this 10% only, you need to make a payment to your building owner. Here is an example. Just imagine that you are working as an ABC associate. If you are an accountant, so your organization running in a rental building, the monthly rent as per the agreement, the monthly rent is at 25,000 per month. So as per the TDS rules, you are crossing the limit of threshold limit. That means 25,000 into 12 months, that is 3 lakh. So in a year, you are crossing 2,40,000 threshold limit. So obviously TDS rules is applicable for that payment. So for that transaction, definitely you are responsible persons to deduct the TDS. Who are making the payment? You are making the payment. Your company is making the payment. That means company is the responsible persons to deduct the TDS. After deducting the TDS only, you can transfer this amount to the particular account, right? So what is the percentage? 10% you need to be deducted. So what is the every month you are making 25,000 amount you are transferring to the owner's account. That means you need to deduct a 10% from the 25,000. That means 25,000 into 10 divided by 100. That is 2,500. So 2,500 you need to be deducted from the government. You need to be deducted from the rent amount. That means the owner will get only 22,500 only, because you can inform to the owner 2,500 you deduct 2,500 you deducted as a TDS. TDS is applicable. So owner will get this transaction, or owner will get the refund amount and rest of the amount in their at the time of income tax return filing. From where the owner can see this amount? The owner can see this amount in the form 26AS in the e-filing account. In the owner's e-filing account, they can see the 26AS. So remember one thing, if you are deducting the TDS based on their PAN number. So that means you don't forget to collect the PAN of owners. Understand? So if you deduct the TDS, so who are making the payment, who are going to be deducted the amount? He need a TAN number. So here your building owner is receiving amount. So the building owner PAN is mandatory. Also, who are going to be deducted? Your company is going to be deducted. So you need a TAN number also. Tax deduction and collection account number. That is TAN number. TAN. TAN and PAN. That is a separate one. Who are making the payment? Who are deducting the amount? He need a TAN number. Who are deducting, or whose amount is deducting, they need a PAN number. So take an example. In here the company need a, or tenant is the tenant, or a building, or office, or a company, those building you are running, that company need a TAN number, right? Or tenant need a TAN number, because you are going to be deducting amount from the from rent account, or at the time of making the payment of rent. So the building owner need a PAN number. You need a TAN number, and the building owner need a PAN number. PAN and a TAN. PAN is a permanent account number. TAN is a tax deduction and collection account number. Understand? Then transfer of immovable property rate is 1% TDS. And the professional and the technical services. Take an example. Professional and the technical services, that is 194J. Professional and technical services 194J. So suppose if you are receiving as a providing a technical services to any organization, so that so organization deducted 2% TDS, after only you will receiving your service charges. And another example, royalty. So royalty, you are making a books, or you are written a books for any company or any organization, that you receiving a royalty. Who are making for the payment? He is responsible persons to 2% deduction, after only you will receiving. And another one is any other cases, and the professional services 10% TDS will be deducted. Section is 194J. Professional and technical services 10% TDS will be deducted. Understand? I hope you guys can understand. Here I will give you 194J. I will give you another example. Take an example. After completing your CAT or after successfully completing your CMA, you can work as a cost audit. You can work as you are become a cost and management accountant, and you are work as an auditor, internal auditor or a cost auditor. If you are auditing any organization, if you're providing audit services to any organization, what is which section your comes under? You are become a professional. You are a professional. Your professional is a auditor. So you are providing audit services to any company, that means comes under the professional and the technical services. The company will deduct the TDS, 10% of the TDS under section 194J. After the deducting the TDS only, as an auditor, you will receiving an amount. Understand? I'll give you another example. Suppose if you're working as an auditor and I am running a company called Mahfouz Associates. Okay, I'm running a company called Mahfouz Associate, and you are a cost accountant and you are providing audit services to my company. And definitely, based on that, your services, I'm a responsible person to pay the TDS, or I'm responsible person to pay the amount, audit service amount, audit fees. It comes under indirect expenses. I am responsible person to make the payment. Understand? So what is the threshold limit? Look at that, 30,000 is the threshold limit. If I am making in an year, if I am paying more than 30,000 in an year as an audit services, I am responsible persons to deduct the 10% of the TDS under section 194J. After deducting the TDS only, I am making payment to you. You are an auditor. You are working, you are providing audit services to my company. Definitely, I am a responsible person to pay the audit fees. We can talk as a payment is name is audit fees. Actually, that is a professional service. As per the TDS rules, if I am providing more than 30,000 as an audit services in an year, I am responsible persons to deduct the 10% of the TDS. After deducting the 10% of the TDS only, I am making a payment to you. Understand? After deducting the 10% of the TDS, I am making a payment to you. So if I am providing 40,000, if I'm so you are providing audit services to my company, you are done it a great job. So I am a responsible person to make a payment. So as per the TDS, how much of amount you are chargeable, you make a bill to me. You are send a bill to me. So as per I'm checking the bill, yes, your professional services charges is 40,000. But as per the TDS, if I am making more than 30,000, I need to be deducted 10% of the TDS. So what I'm going to do? Yes, I need to be deducted. So I'm deducting 10% of the TDS, 40,000 into 10 divided by 100. That means 4,000 I need to be deducted. So I'm making a 36,000 to you. And I'm telling like that 10% is TDS. These TDS I'm remitting to the government account. So you can file return. You can view in your 26 AS forms, or at the time of income tax return filing, maybe you will be getting a refund from the income tax department, or you need to be pay an addition amount apart from the TDS amount. So this is actually the concept. So why the income tax department is introducing that? Because for tracking concept, they need to be track the financial transaction. That's why they need to introducing. That's why they are introducing the TDS concept. Understand? I hope you guys can got a somewhat an idea about the TDS, right? Then like this is another example. Suppose if you have professional services, 10,000 for the actually you are making a part payment, 10,000, 10,000, 10,000, something like that. You are providing auditing services. The first time you are providing first time you are providing audit services to my company. The first time I paid a 10,000. So I have a two option. Either I have an expecting, I have an I have an assurity, or I'm assured about that the future in an year it will closing 30,000. So may if you need, you can deduct the TDS from at the time of first payment, or the second time you paid a 50,000. So that time you need to be deducted the 60,000, the 10% of the TDS from 60,000. Right, because that is the total amount. The aggregate amount we are calculating. We are taking an aggregate amount, not for the first time. Maybe first time you receiving 10,000, second time 10,000, third time 10,000, fourth time 10,000. If you are receiving a fourth time, that will crossing the threshold limit. So at the time you need to be deduct the 40 percentage, entire 40 to calculate the aggregate amount, how much of amount you paid, the entire amount you calculating, and you are deducting 10 percentage from the whole amount. Understand? That is an example for these cases. I hope you get understanding that. Look at the question. The professional services were rupees 10,000 for the first time, and for the second time is 15,000 in a financial year. On what amount the TDS should be deducted if the transaction amount exceeds the threshold limit? Since the limit did not exceed for the first time, no TDS should be deducted at rupees 10,000. You have an optional. Either you can deduct it from the TDS because you know that it will crossing the threshold limit. That means now need to be make a confusion. That's why you are deducting from the at the time of single amount onwards, you are deducting the TDS. That's up to you. However, the transaction amount exceed the threshold limit of 30,000 for professional services while making the payment for second time, hence TDS shall be deducted at the total of 60,000. I already told you that aggregate they are taking about that total aggregate amount, how much of amount the total paid, they you are deducting the 10% of the TDS from the total amount. Understand? So that is another example. I hope you guys can understand. So this is another examples of cash withdrawals also will be applicable. 2% and 5% is exceeding. Cash withdrawal during the previous year, one or more account maintained by a person with a banking company, cooperative engaged in a business or a post office. 2% from the amount withdrawn in a cash if aggregate amount withdrawal exceeding 20 lakh from the previous year. If you are crossing the 20 lakhs withdrawal, because you have an account, you have a 50 or 30 lakhs in your account. If you are withdrawing more than 20 lakh in an accounting year or in a financial year, 2% is deducted, the TDS are deducted by the bank, and that bank will deposit into the government account. Right. If you are cash withdrawal crossing more than 1 crore, 5% will be deducted. Understand? So, and also we have another point that you need to understand only. No need to be confused about that, because that is TCS. We have a TDS. This is the TDS. So, and we have another example, that is another topic, that is TCS. Oh, no worries about that. TCS is not concerned here, but you need to understand about the TCS. TCS is a tax collected collected from the source. One is deducted at a source, one is collected at a source. So examples of a TCS. TDS, I already told you that one is TDS is a payment basis. Who are making the payment? He is responsible persons to deduct the TDS. TCS is just opposite of the TDS. Who are receiving the amount? He is responsible persons to pay the TCS. Right? Who are receiving the amount? He is responsible. He is collecting the TCS receipt basis. One is TDS is payment basis. TCS is the receipt basis. Who are receiving the amount? He is need to be collected the TCS. TCS. Who are receiving the amount? He need to be collected the TCS as well and remit into this government account. So examples of a TCS, suppose if you are purchasing a vehicle more than 10 lakh, if you are purchasing a vehicle or any car, the car price is more than 10 lakh, the TCS will be applicable. The TCS is deducted from that particular amount. So take an example. Suppose if you are purchasing from car from a Hyundai, so if you are Hyundai or a Maruti Suzuki, so if you are purchasing a car from a Maruti Suzuki and your car value is more than 10 lakh, the showroom or an agent did collect the TCS along with the selling price, and that TCS is remit into this government account. That is also you can see in your 26 AS. Understand? If you are purchasing any car from any showroom, any Maruti Suzuki, any Hyundai or Volkswagen, any showroom, if your car value is more than 10 lakh, TCS will be applicable. This TCS is collected along with the selling price. This TCS is collected by the showroom agent. Who are from where you are purchasing this car? That is a show from showroom. Showroom is an agent. You are collecting the TCS from that. That agent is collecting from the TCS amount along with the selling price. and that TCS amount remit into this government account. That is what I'm trying to say, that one is the received basis, one is the payment basis. Just a second. Understand? I hope you guys can understanding that what is the TDS and TCS. TCS is collected based on the receipt. TDS is deducted based on the payment. TCS is who are receiving the amount, he is responsible persons to collect the TCS also and remit into this government account. Example is you are purchasing a car from any showroom. That showroom agent is responsible persons to collect the TCS along with the selling price, and that particular agent is a deposit into this government account. If it is a Maruti Suzuki, Hyundai, Volkswagen, if you are purchasing a car from that particular company, that company also collected the TCS and remit into this government account, right? And the TDS is examples of a salary. If you're receiving a salary from an employer, if you're crossing the threshold limit, employer is responsible persons to deduct the TDS at the time of salary. That deducted employer is what employer is doing. They are deducting the TDS based on the slab rate or a tax rate, and that deducted amount they are remitting into this government account, right? The TCS and the TCS and the TDS details you can see in your form 26AS from your e-filing account. So the TCS and TDS is collected or collected or deducted based on your PAN number. Understand? If you are forget, if you do not have any PAN number, the deductor or collector can deduct a higher rate of amount from from receipt or at the time of payment if you are forget to PAN number. So PAN is very important for the TDS and TCS as well. Understand? So here is the some rate of TCS also will be applicable for the goods also. And another example, one is the car. TCS is mostly applicable for the goods tax collected at a sources, and purchase of motor vehicle. Purchase of motor vehicle, as I told you that purchase of motor vehicle more than 10 lakh, it will be 1% will be applicable for the vehicle, and also scrap, timber, liquor. That is an example. So this is the old under tax regimes. This is all comes under the different topic. Worries about that. So this is all the calculations will comes under the in at the time of e-filing of returns. I hope you that you get a somewhat an idea about the TDS and TCS. Got it now? So what is the section in TDS? As I told you that I repeat again, TDS will be applicable in the case of we already discussed about that. I repeat again, TDS will be applicable based on the payment. Who are making the payment, he is responsible persons to deduct the TDS. So TDS is based on the payment and based on the sources of income and based on the payment, and there have a threshold limit. So based on that threshold limit, you are responsible. But if you are making the payment, you are responsible persons to deduct the TDS at the time of making the payment. Understand? That is the TDS, a tax deducted at a sources. So it is a payment basis. So who are making the payment? He is responsible persons to deduct the TDS. I hope you guys can understanding that what is the TDS concept. Got it? Yeah, that is the TDS, and the TCS is just opposite of the TDS. TCS is one is the deduction, one is payment basis, one is the receipt basis. That is always keep it in your mind. TDS, if you are making the payment, you are responsible persons to pay the or deduct the TDS. TCS is if you are providing a goods based on the goods. If you are collecting amount from your customer, you need to be collected the TCS as well. That is the TDS and the TCS concept. Got it? Next, I hope you that you understand the basics of the TDS and the TCS. You understand the basics of TDS and TCS. Next, I'm going to explain. Hold on, my dear friends, just a second. Next, I'm going to explain about that what is the transaction details, what transaction will be applicable. That's I'm going to be explaining you that. So TDS in accounting that we are going to discuss. Yeah, I hope that you can see the screen. So TDS, this is an example. Take an example. You are working as a Marfos Associates. I repeat again, we already create a company in the previous classes. I hope you guys can remember that. Right. I hope you guys can remember that we already discussed about the how to in a company creation. We already create a company called Marfos Associate. Just imagine that Marfos Associate is a company. You are working in a company. So if you are an accountant and you are receiving an audit services from ABC Associate, see, this is the question. You are receiving a audit services from the ABC Associates. Right. How much of amount you are paying? You are paying 50,000 to ABC Associate. Understand? Because you are receiving, if you are a company, your company name is Marfos Associate, and you are providing to ABC Associate 50,000 as an audit fees. If it is a TDS is applicable or not? Yes, TDS is applicable. What is the rules? As an accountant, you need to understand that. Threshold limit is threshold limit is how much? 30,000. If you are crossing 30K, if you are crossing 30,000, the TDS will be. If you are crossing more than 30,000, more than 30,000, TDS will be applicable. I understand. This is the threshold limit. So as per the threshold limit, as per the TDS rules, if you are crossing more than 30K in an year, as a audit fees, you are responsible persons to deduct the TDS. So how much of amount you are paying? You are paying 50,000 to ABC Associate. How much of amount you need to be deducted? Obviously 10% will be applicable. Right? What is the section? As I told you that 194J is the section. That is also you need to be remember. So because the nature of payment, audit fee, right? Threshold limit 30K. Threshold limit 30K. That is also you need to be understand about that. So nature of payment, audit fee 50K. Nature of payment. This is the nature of payment. Nature of payment, audit fee. Right. Threshold limit 30K. Got it? TDS deduction amount 10%. Section. Yeah, here we can enter. Section 194J. That is also you need to understand. Section 194J. This is also very important factor. So you need to understand. Next, we are going to be discussing about that what is the steps will be applicable in the softwares. So for that purposes, what is the journal entry? You understanding that first journal entry is we are debiting auditing fee, credit ABC Associate and credit TDS. Because this is accrual basis, not a cash. This is the accrual basis. This is already generated. This is accrual, right? Acquire, but not make the payment. That's why this is the accrual journal. So what is the audit fee are debiting and ABC Associate is crediting, TDS is crediting. Accrual journal, I hope you that accrual and the deferral journal, adjusting journal can be at the time of basics of accounting. We already discussed about that. Adjusting journal, we can categorize it into two types, accrual journal and deferral journal. Understand that. So this is an example. Accrual journal, we already passed this journal entry. After that, this is at the time of auditing, already account or the transaction is generated. That is why this we are passing this journal entry. We are debiting audit fee, credit ABC Associate, credit to TDS. And after you are making the payment, you are deducting the TDS amount. TDS amount will go into this government account. We are debiting the TDS, credit to the cash. And after deducting amount, there is a making a payment. That is the balance amount you are going to be making the ABC Associate because they are auditor. Right. That is the different transaction. Got it? Right. for how to apply in the journal entry in the Tally software. This is the manual accounting preparation. Manual accounting is very simple. Audit fee you are rendering total 50,000, ABC associate and the TDS. So this is the how much of amount. ABC associate, how much is the total audit fee? 50,000. ABC associate, how much of amount ABC associate is needed? Yeah, ABC associate is getting 50,000 only, 45,000 only. Why? Because 10% will going to the TDS. So TDS will be going to 5,000. Understand? This is actually the transaction. This is the manual accounting. We are understanding that total audit fee is 50,000. We are making a payment to ABC associate 45,000 only because 10% TDS will be applicable. These 5,000 will be applicable TDS. And later we are passing another journal entry. What is the journal entry? This is another journal entry. We are making the payment of TDS, that is the 5,000. We are making to government 5,000. And here we are entering 5,000. What is applicable to the ABC associate? ABC associate, we are journal entry is 45,000 ABC associate, and we are making cash account. ABC associate account adapted to cash or bank, anything, no issues. That is 45,000. This is applicable in the manual accounting. Understand? So what we are going to do, as I told you, that this is the manual accounting. So we need to be understanding that view the TDS report. For TDS report, we need to understand the TDS report, look at the financial statement and look at the past the journal entry, look at the financial statement, look at the TDS report and how it will create an impact on the financial statement. That is also we need to discuss. Understand, my dear friends? Right. So here, look at that, how it will create an impact on the journal entry. So understand this one. So for the Tally, first of all, go to gateway of Tally, enable the TDS. So that's why you need to be select the F11 and activate the TDS. And the nature of payment, you need to be activated the nature of payment, create the nature of payment. And here you need to be create a ledger account. We have a 3 ledger account, sundry creditors, because you are making the payment. That's why ABC associate, you are making the payment, right? So ABC associate is your sundry creditors. Then audit fee, that is your expense account. Audit fees comes under indirect expenses, right? Then TDS account. You need to be created 3 ledger account. And after that, record the voucher entry, pass the voucher entry, right? So for that purposes, first of all, we need to be select the F11 and activate. So hold on, then I will show you that how it will affect it in the Tally screen. Yeah, I hope you that you can see the screen. So this is the gateway of Tally. We have a company called the Marfos Associate. We already created this one. So first of all, go to the F11. F11 TDS is comes under the F3 statutory and taxation. I hope you that you can see in F11 F3. Select the statutory and taxation. Statutory and taxation, here you need to be activated no, GST. Here is TDS will be applicable. Activate yes. TDS activate yes. Select set alter TDS details. Yes, you need to be activated. Here you need to be enter the TAN number. As I told you that if you are deducting deductor details, who are deducting, you are going to be deducting the amount. Right, who are going to be deducting the amount? Marfos associate is going to deducting the amount. That's why you need a TAN number, tax deduction and collection account number, TAN number. You need a TAN number because who are making the who are deducting deductor, you who are making the payment, he is a responsible persons to deduct the TDS. Who are deducting the amount, he is a deductor needed TAN number because you are making payment to ABC associate. Understand? You are making a payment to ABC associates. That means you need a TAN number, that is mandatory. You need to enter a TAN number. So ABC 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I enter TAN number, then enter. So here deduction and collection account number, TAN number you need to be enter under TAN number. Then deduction type, which you are deduction type you need to enter company or an individual. Yes, obviously, Mafos Associate is a company. You are not an individual. That's why company. If you have from where you are deducting from your main or a division or a branch, from deducting by a branch company or deducting from main company, that you need to be under anything, keep it as a blank. Then if you need to be under the details, the person details, if you activate yes, if you activate yes, in your company, there is a person. Understand? In your company, there is a person. He is responsible persons to detect the TDS. Right? Obviously, understand that. If it is a company, okay, company is deducting the TDS. In company, there is a person to deduct that. So maybe accountant, maybe finance manager, maybe CFO, many managing director. If you have that, you need to enter that particular person name, accountant name. You need to be enter PAN number, designation, everything. Otherwise, keep it as a blank. Then IT income tax exemption details you need to be activate as. Otherwise, stock items either activate as. Otherwise, keep it as a blank. Then enter here also income tax PAN number for company PAN number. Company in Mafos Associate we have a two numbers, TAN and a PAN number. So otherwise keep it as a number and set. So we created activate the PAN. Understand? I hope you guys can clear this one. So next we need to be activate nature of payment. Next we need to be activate nature of payment. So in nature of payment, next, what is your responsibility? You need to be created TDS in nature of payment. What is the nature of payment? You need to be created. For that purpose, gateway of tally, accounting info, select the statutory info, TDS nature of payment, select nature of payment, create. Here you need to be enter the details of, here you need to be enter the details of which section is comes under and what is the section details and what is the nature of payment you need to be selected from here. Here you need to be enter the details. So first of all, we have a technical and professional services. Technical, professional and technical services. That is the nature of payment. Professional and technical service. Professional and technical service. Section, as I told you that 194J, we already ended. We have some payment code, that is a 94 is a payment code. Then if you have any remittance code, if you haven't entered the remittance code, we already entered that remittance code. Now I enter the rough amount 94 and 92. Then rate for an individuals. If you rate for another deductee, rate for an individual, as I told you that this is the 10%. So rate for a deducting 10%. Here you need to be deduct the threshold limit. What is the threshold limit? That is the 30,000 is the threshold limit. So we already know the rules. So next enter. Then nature of payment also we created. Next we need to be created the ledger account. Next we need to be create a ledger account. That is another responsibility. Another responsibility you need to be create a ledger account. In ledger account, gateway of tally, accounting info, ledger create. Gateway of tally, accounting info. I repeat again, gateway of tally, accounting info, ledger create. Here you need to be create an account of the three accounts. One is ABC Associates. ABC Associates. ABC Associates we created. ABC Associates comes under the sundry creditors. We already know that sundry creditors. Then you need to be enter. TDS is deduction. You need to be yes applicable. TDS deduction. Nature of payment. Deductee type. Who is this ABC Associate? Here is the resident. We can select as an individual or a resident. Obviously, we select a ABC Associate is a auditing company. So we select as a company and a resident. If you deduct the TDS in same voucher, you need to be enter. Then ABC Associate you have to be enter. Then enter. So you have to be selected from he is from Maharashtra. If you need to be enter the PAN deduction details. PAN number is very important factor. Don't forget to enter the PAN number. So for reasons you need to be go to the PAN number. PAN number is mandatory. Don't forget to enter the PAN number. So if you are forget to enter the PAN number, that will go into tax rate will go into 20%. That I already told you that 20%. If you have a PAN number is applicable 10%. But if you forget to submit the PAN number, if you are not entering to this PAN number to here, that will go into 20%. Those PAN number is not entered, that TDS will be applicable 20%. Here you need to be enter the PAN number. So A, B, C, C, A, B, C, C, D, 4, 6, 9, 4, N. You need to be enter. Then enter, enter. Here you need to be enter the ABC associate. Then enter, enter, enter. Already created. Next, you need to be create audit fee. Audit fees. Audit fees comes under, obviously you guys can know that is comes under the indirect expenses. Then enter indirect expenses, a type of ledger not applicable, user not applicable. Here you need to be activate applicable. Nature of payment we already created professional and technical service. Select the professional and technical service. Then enter, 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 enter. Then third ledger account, we created the party account, that is central creditors account we created. Then audit fee, indirect expenses we created. Next TDS we need to be created. TDS. TDS is comes under not a stat. It's a comes not an indirect expenses. It comes under duties and taxes. See, duties and taxes. You need to be selected duties and taxes. TDS. We already know that professional and nature of payment, professional and technical services. Then enter, 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 enter. So we created the 3 ledger account also. I hope you guys can understand how to create a ledger account as well. Then we need to pass the journal entry, gateway of tally, accounting vouchers. Here, first you need to pay. First you need to create a ledger, the transaction. So first, as I told you that this is an accrual. Accrual type of journal entry is a very important factor for accrual type of journal entry. Understand that. So for that purposes, accrual type of journal entry that will go into F7 journal. Select F7 journal. So here, first of all, you need to be under audit fee. Audit fee we are debiting audit fee. How much? 50,000. Then we are crediting. We are crediting ABC associates, automatically entered amount, auto populated 45,000. Then new rough, enter. Then credit TDS. TDS 5,000. Understand? So this is the journal entry. So we already entered the journal entry in manually. This is also populated. Audit fees, we are debiting audit fee, crediting ABC associate and crediting TDS. Understand? Got it? So if you need to be under narration, you can enter narration. If you need to be enter the narration also, if you enter the narration, otherwise keep it as a blank, then yes. Right. Next, that is accrual. Then first is accrual journal entry, we pass. Next is the cash journal for accounting vouchers. First of all, payment. Select the F5 payment. F5 payment, we selected the cash. Then you need to be select first of all ABC associate. ABC associate, you need to be 45,000. So before we are making the payment, understanding that we pass accrual journal entry. Look at that, how it will create an impact on the financial statement. In balance sheet, select F11. Then here you need to be duties and taxes. See, Duties and taxes, we have a TDS of a 5,000. This is the previous one. Last classes we already discussed about that. This one, professional tax, IGST, CGST. Understand? So look at that. This 5,000 also comes under the TDS, right? It comes under the duties and taxes. Got it? Also, look at the sundry creditors. Sundry creditors, see 45,000 as a ABC associates, right? This juice journal entry will comes under there. Then look at that profit and loss account. Profit and loss account, we can see that audit fees is 50,000. In 50,000, total is audit fee that will comes under the this allocation amount will affect in the balance sheet, right? As a sundry creditors and duties and taxes. Understand? Both are comes under the current liability because you need to make a payment. This is the indirect expenses. Audit fees is the indirect expenses that will go into the income statement or a profit and loss account. TDS and ABC associate will go into the current liability asset side, liability side of the balance sheet, right? This is what I'm trying to say, that at the time of passing each journal entry, you need to understand how it will create an impact on the financial statement. That means where the debit balance is going, where the credit balance is going. We have an accrual accounting. Accrual accounting, what is the journal entry? We are debiting the audit fee, credit TDS, credit ABC associate. Audit fee is an indirect expenses that will go into the income statement, right? And that is a 50,000 will go into the income statement. So look at that, the credit ABC associate and TDS. ABC is associate and TDS is a current liability. That will comes under the current liability. It will go into the liability side of the balance sheet. So this is what I'm trying to say, that as a practical accounting point of view, at the time of passing each journal entry, you guys need to understand how it will create an impact on the financial statement. Got it? Next is the payment portal. Select the accounting vouchers. Payment, as I told you, that cash. First of all, select ABC associate. ABC associate, we make a 45,000. Am I right? Yes, 45,000, make a payment. Next, enter. Then enter. You need make a narration, you make a narration. Then go to balance sheet. See, look at the balance sheet. In balance sheet, it will go into the sundry creditors. There is only one agent, the ABC associate will go in because we make the payment to the ABC associate. Understand? Then look at that accounting vouchers. Then another payment portal, that is the TDS. So here you need to be TDS will be there. Yeah. So here before you are making a payment to the TDS, here we have a statutory payment. Select the statutory payment. Here you need to be selected the TDS. Enter the right month, then deduction details, section 194J, professional services, then select the company, resident, select the cash. So 5,000 is auto-populated, TDS 5,000, then enter. Right? Understand? Simple. So look at that in balance sheet, that is also will be going balance sheet also. So duties and taxes, there is a no TDS will go. Understand? I hope you guys can understand that somewhat an idea about the TDS. No worries about that. We can take a one more problem, so TDS of rent. So Janvi, are you here? Hello, Janvi, are you here?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What is the break time? Break time.
Now we can take a break, sir.
Okay. How many? 15 minutes
15
or 10?
minutes, sir.
Okay. Come back by 9:30. No, sure.
Yes. Okay. The students will be taking a break now. It's 9:16, so we'll resume by 9:30.
Hello. Okay, students, so we can resume the session.
Yes, sir, we can resume.
Okay, fine. So I hope you guys you can understand that what is a TDS, what is the basics of a TDS, and at what basis we are deducting the we are deducting the TDS. We already discussed about that. So then we taken another example here. So just a second, we taken another example here. Rent. We taken another example. Rent rupees 25,000 is payable. Yeah, we can take this one. Payable to Arun. He's an owner, building owner. Arun, after deducting TDS 10%. Right, this is another examples of a transactions. We already discussed about the TDS. TDS is tax deducted at a source. So TDS is responsible make the deductions at the payment basis. A TDS is deducted by the deductor based on the payment. So TDS is deducted by the deducted by the person who are making the payment. TDS is deducted by a person who are making the payment. He is responsible persons to deduct the TDS at 10%. We can take in, we have a different sources: rent, audit, professional and technical fees, and we have a different sources: interest, dividend, and commission. These are all the salary. These are all the examples of a various nature of a payments. So who are making this payment, he is responsible persons to deduct the TDS as per the TDS rules. We have a certain threshold limit. We have a certain percentage for deducting. Who are making the deduction? He need a TAN number also. If I am deducting, I am making the payment to you. I am a responsible person to deduct the TDS. So what I needed TAN number. If I need to be deducted, I need a TAN number. Tax account deduction and collection account number. Tax deduction and collection account number. That is TDS. Here another example, rent. Rent paid 25,000. Take an example same as a Marfos Associate. Marfos Associate is a private limited company. It is running in a rental building. This company is making payment of a 25,000 to Arun. He's a building owner. Owner is a building owner, name is Arun. We are making a payment to Arun at the rupees of a 25,000 per month. So that is a 10% TDS will be applicable. So what is the threshold limit? Threshold limit is threshold. I'm sorry. Steps. Yeah. So here we have a threshold limit. Yeah, threshold limit is more than more than 2,40,000, greater than 2,40,000. This is the threshold limit. If your payment is more than 2,40,000, TDS will be applicable. Here monthly rent is 25,000. So 25,000 into 12, 3 lakh. Obviously it is crossing 2,40,000. So TDS should be deducted. The section, which section will be applicable? Section is 194I is the section also will be applicable. How much of amount is deducted? As I told you that we have a audit, we have a rent. This is the another example, that is the rent is a nature of payment is rent, right? How much of amount is paying? 25,000 is paying. 25,000 is paying, right? Which section is applicable? 194I is applicable. 194I, right? 194I is applicable. Yeah, 194I is applicable. What is the threshold limit? Threshold limit is 2,40,000 in an year. This is I'm talking about that 2,40,000 in an year. Obviously, 25,000 into 12, it is around 3 lakh, it is closing 2,40,000. So TDS will be applicable. What is the percentage of the TDS? 10% TDS will be applicable. 10% TDS will be applicable. Understand? So this is the transaction. So obviously, what is the journal entry? So here we have already have a journal entry. We are debiting rent account debtor to Arun to TDS. We are debiting rent account debtor to Arun to TDS. Understand? Got it. Next, look at the transactions. So we need to go to the Tally screen. In Tally, first of all, we need to create a nature of. We need to be nature of payments you need to be create. For that purpose, gateway of Tally, accounting info, statutory info, TDS, nature of payment, create. Here you need to be enter. Here you need to be enter rent charges. Rent charges you need to be enter. So sections we need to be under the section 194I is the section. Then payment code you need to be under 92 payment code, and transaction code if you need to be, you can enter remittance code. So rate of individual will be applicable. As I told you that this is the 10% will be applicable. Then what is the threshold limit? Here threshold limit 2,40,000. Here you need to be under the each transaction 20,000. 20,000 into 12, 2,40,000. So you can enter the 20,000. Then enter. Then go back to the previous screen. Then you need to create a ledger account. Gateway of Tally, account info, ledger, create. Here you need to create a first account, that is Arun. So Arun comes under center creditors. You need to be created. Then enter. TDS deduction details is applicable. So we can select as a individual resident. So TDS has the same voucher. Then enter. Then you need to be enter here as a PAN number is a mandatory, as I told you that. So you need to be select as a PAN number. So go back to the screens. PAN number also need to be mandatory. So A, B, C, D, E, F, 4, 6, 9, 1, N. Okay, 9. So N. Here it's 2. Okay. Invalid entry. So you need to be enter the PAN number properly. So A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, E, 42, 42, 9, 1, N. Then invalid fourth character is PAN is based on the deductive type and should be, yeah, that is fourth one. That is P. So A, B, C, P, D. A, B, C, P, D. Total 5. Yeah. Then 4, 1, 9, 2, N. So PAN also have some unique number. Then 10-digit alphanumeric number. PAN. What is the structure of a PAN? You have a separate section in e-filing return. At the time of e-filing of return, you can understanding that what is the structure of a PAN. You can understand that. So here, that is depends upon individual. If it is in the individual, fourth letter is going to become a P. If it is a company, fourth letter going to be C. If it is a firm, fourth letter going to F, something like that. That is the structure of a PAN. That's also we discussed about we will discuss in later in e-filing return classes. Then enter. Then another one is TDS rent. TDS rent. So TDS render comes under the duties and taxes. TDS and taxes, select the TDS, it's a rent charges, then enter. Then it comes under indirect expenses. We already, next we need to be under the rent account. So rent account comes under indirect expenses. You guys can know that. Then enter. So here is applicable. Select applicable. That is a rent charges. Then enter. So we created the ledger accounts. Then you need to be pass the voucher entry. So gateway of Tally, accounting vouchers. So as I told you that first of all F7 journal. So we are debiting, that is a rent account. You debiting rent account. Rent account is at 25,000. Then rent account credit, and Arun is crediting. Then new ref. Then enter. That is crediting TDS. TDS on rent. So 2,500. Got it? So this is the first journal entry. This is the accrual type of journal entry. We are not making the payment. Cash is not happening. We are not debiting any, crediting any cash. That type of journal entry we can call adjusting journal. We have a two type. Adjusting journal can be categorized into two parts. What is accrual journal and a deferral journal? This is accrual journal. We are the accrual journal. We pass the transactions into this accrual journal. We pass the transaction. It is only generated. That is the journal entry. We are debiting rent account, crediting Arun, and crediting TDS. So total how much of amount? 25,000 is rent. Obviously, TDS will be deducted 2,500. So remaining 22,500 only debiting. Right? Making the payment. This is the journal. This is the accrual type of journal. Understand? So then look at that, how it will create an impact on the financial statement. As I told you that at the time of passing each journal entry, as I told you that at the time of passing each journal entry, you need to understand how it will create an impact on the financial statement. That's a very important factor. Right, at the time of passing each journal entry, you need to understand how it will create impact on the financial statement. That means where the debit balance is going, where the credit balance is going. Here, what is the journal entry? Accrual journal entry. We are debiting rent account, crediting Arun account, crediting TDS account. And rent comes under indirect expenses. So rent balances will going to indirect expenses in an income statement. And we have another two credit balances also. What is the two credit balances? One is TDS and one is Arun. Arun is sundry creditors. Arun and TDS. Arun and TDS both are sundry credit. Arun is a sundry creditors that will going to, that is a current liability that will going to liability side of the balance sheet. What about the TDS? TDS comes under duties and taxes. That is also a current liability that is also will going to the liability side of the balance sheet. Understand? Perfect. That will we are going to be C. Duties and taxes, we have a TDS rent. Because TDS is duties and taxes, this is the current liability. So it will go into the liability side of the balance sheet. Understand? Look at the sundry creditors. Yeah, we have a sundry creditors also. See, sundry creditor, we have a Arun. Arun is a sundry creditors. So Arun is also comes under the current liability that will also go into liability side of the balance sheet. Understand? What about the rent? As I told you that rent will go into the income statement or a profit and loss account as an indirect expenses. See, rent account. Got it? So this is what I'm trying to say, that it's a very important factor. Rent is also comes under the 25,000. This is also very important factor at the time of passing each journal entry. This is the practical point of view or a practical accounting. At the time of passing each journal entry, you guys need to understand how it will create an impact on the financial statement. Got it? Then we are going to making the payment. So gateway of Tally, that is accrual. We already are liability. Now we are settled down. So take a payment. In payment, we are cash. So we are Arun account. Arun, how much? 22,500 because 10% TDS will be deducted or 10% TDS is deducted. 22,500, 22,500. Then enter 22,000, 22,500. Then another payment you have to be selected as a cash. You have to be selected as a cash. This is the TDS rent. It's a TDS rent. Yeah. TDS rent. Otherwise, you need to be keep as a state of a payment. See, state payment. Select as a statutory payment. Select as a TDS. Here you need to be enter the date. Section 194I. Rent charges. Deduction type company. Resident. Yeah. Resident and cash. Then 2,500. This is auto populated in a statute. You have a two option in the statute. Either you can statute payment, statute voucher. Either you can enter manually or else you can enter two like this. Then you have to be income tax charges. If you have an education cess, you that is also will be applicable. If it is an education cess, also will be applicable. Such charge also will be applicable. That's also you need to enter. Then enter accept. Understand? I hope you guys can understanding that the different type of TDS. This is a one of an important another topic because as an accountant, if you're working as an organization, TDS also will be applicable. So that's all about the Tally. Tally important topic. Now we are starting to recapping section. The first sections, the beginning classes, we discussed about an accounting. I repeat again, my dear friends, the journal entry is very important factor for an accounting. If you are working as an accountant in any organization, they are using different software. Right, depends upon the organization, depends upon the strength. The organizations have a different accounting software. Whatever the accounting software you're going to be use, it doesn't matter. If you know the journal entry thoroughly, you can easy to be start with that particular software, whether it is a Tally or a QB or any other software. That means journal entry is an major 90% of the cases or 100% every software our input is journal entry. If you have any confusions about the journal entry or financial statement, the important factor means you don't know the concept and the principles. If you know the concept and the principles thoroughly, account is nothing. Right, no need to be enter or no need to be create anything from the imaginary world. Right, everything is in the principles. If you are converting the transaction, what is the accounting cycle? In accounting cycle, first of all, we are taking the transaction, we are converting this transaction into journal, then journal to ledger, ledger to trial balance, and a trial balance to adjusting journal entry, then adjusting journal entry to the adjusting trial balance. Then what they are going to do? Then financial statement. This is an accounting cycle. So if you are converting the transaction into journal based on the principles and concepts, certain principles, based on the certain principles and concepts, you are doing this accounting cycle. Understand? So if you are converting this transaction into journal, if you know the thoroughly accounting golden rules of an accounting, and also if you know the debit and credit rules, you can easily prepare the journals. Journal is nothing. If you know the rules, debit and credit rules, if you know the golden rules of an accounting, you can easy to be translating. You can convert a transaction to journal very easily. If you have a software, you can enter this journal entry in properly. As I told you that, yeah, I am entering the journal entry. I'm creating chart of accounts or a ledger account. After preparing the chart of account, ledger account, what we are going to do? I'm entering to the journal entry with the help of voucher key. Journal entry means voucher entry. Voucher entry is representing in based on the voucher key. Based on the voucher key, I'm entering to the journal entry in that particular software. After that, I'm getting the financial statement. Our ultimate intention is As an accountant, we are preparing the 3 financial statement. We have a 5 financial statement, but importantly, 3 financial statement we are going to be studying in the CAT sections. So what are they? Balance sheet, income statement or a profit and loss account, and the cash flow statement. Got it? So balance sheet will understanding the financial position of your organization. What is your asset? What is your liability? And what is the working capital? If you know the balance sheet thoroughly, you know you can understand in that you can identify what is the position of the your organization, what is the working capital, what is current liability, what is non-current liability, and what is current asset, what is non-current asset, what is the working capital. And you have know the ratios also based on everything we are based on your balance sheet. That is based on the balance sheet will give you an idea about the financial position of your organization. And the number 2 is income statement or a profit and loss account. That will identify, that will help you to understand what is the financial performance of an organization in a particular period of time. Balance sheet is position, this is performance. Income statement or a profit and loss account will help you to understanding what is the financial performance of a particular period of time. What is your sales? What is your COGS, cost of goods sold? What is your gross margin? What is your operating income? What is your operating income? What is non-operating income? What is your sales? That will identify, that will help you to understanding this income statement or a profit and loss account. Then third financial statement, cash flow statement. Cash flow statement will help you to identify what is the availability of a cash in your organization. What is the availability of a cash? That will identify what is the availability of a cash in your organization. That will help you to understand that in your organization. What is the availability of a cash? That is also very important factor, right? That is also very important factor. What is the uses and what is the sources of a cash? What is the uses and what is the sources of a cash? That is also very important, that cash availability. How much of cash use came to your business? How much of cash is going to your business? What is the sources of a cash? What is the uses of a cash? That is the cash flow statement. Right. And here also we discussed about that is the basics of accounting. Before you enter into any accounting software, basics of accounting is a very important factor. After that, we discussed about that like how to create a company. I already told you that how to create a company. So we have a company info. In company info, we have a create, company info, create. Here I'm going to be creating a company. So you can enter the company name, mailing address. So see, A, B, C, D, E, F. This is the company name. You can mailing address, country, you have to be selected which state is applicable, and the pin code and the contact details of your company, and the books beginning, as I told you that from which financial year you're starting your company, also books beginning from which financial year. That's also both are the same financial year. Then if you need to be recorded, as I told you that if you are accounting and a confidential document, you can protect from the password. With the help of a password, you can protect your data. So that's also will be there. This is the company creations. Then you have to be select yes, then enter. So I recommend all of you using the keyboard while entering to the tally. Don't use the mouses because maybe it will not take clicking on that, maybe missing some points. That's why we're using the keyboard. Then this is the accounting. This is the how to create a company. Then you need to be understanding about that how to shut a company. This is the shut a company. So you have to be shut a company. If you need to be shut this company, you can close that company. You can enter what is the purpose of the shut a company, and at a time you can enter more than 2 or company at a time. You can open it. So actually if you open it, that you can minimize that company. So maybe there is a possibility to entering journal entry to some other area, some other company details also. That's why we are closing, shutting that company. Then if you need to be delete that company, select the company info. Then we have a select the alter, then we have to be, first of all, so you need to be select the company. So F1, you have to be select the company. F1, select the company, ABCDF, select that company, and you have to be go to the company info. Then you have to be select the alter. Then you have to be select, and Alt D is the company. Alt D. Then you have to be yes. You have to delete that company. That is the deleting a company recording, how to create a company, how to delete a company, how to shut a company. That's the basics of an accounting, basics of the Tally software. Then we discussed about that how to create a ledger account. So we have a two type of company. So we have a ledger account means this is the inventory creation. Inventory management is separate and accounting information is separate. Inventory means stock. This is the accounting information. See, and also before your accounting gateway of, this is the gateway of Tally. Everything we can start the journal entry, voucher entry we are passing in from the start from the gateway of Tally. Ledger creation we start from the gateway of Tally, and all your financial statement reporting, downloading, and we are entering our financial statement. We are checking. We are starting with the gateway of Tally. So every transactions and every related to an accounting, if you need to be look at the financial report, financial statement, you can go to gateway of Tally. If you need to be create a ledger account, first of all you need to gateway of Tally. So payroll, everything you can start with the gateway of Tally. That is gateway of Tally means every transactions, every area you can start with the gateway of Tally. So first of all, you have to be activate F11. F11, we have a three features. First of all, accounting features. In accounting features is applicable to the accounting service industry, not for the goods industry. Accounting features is applicable to the servicing industry only. F11 accounting features. Look at that accounting features, accounts only, inventory only. If you need to maintain accounts only, you can enter the S only. If you activate accounts only means there is no inventory. Take an examples of an education institution. Education institution, there is no inventory. That's why they need to be make an accounts only. There is no inventory. There is no stock item. Nothing will be there. There is no inventory item. Right. So that's why they need to be keep an accounts only. Then we have an, if you need to be if you need to download a income and expenditure account. If you need a download income and expenditure account instead of a profit and loss account, that is also, that's activation keys comes under the accounting features. Then maintain bill wise details, billing entry. So if you need to be record the billing and downloading bills and printing out the bills, everything is comes under the bill management. And also payroll also comes under the accounting features. Payroll activation, that payroll, that is also comes under there. And the payroll also we discussed about then the salary and employee details. The payroll is a purpose of maintaining the employee details, employee attendance, employee salary details, and the deduction and the collections, and all their PAN number details, employee each and every individual details. So that is also we are recording, maintaining the payroll. Then cost center. Cost center means we are identifying which cost we are creating the transactions. So that is the cost center. Cost center is also very important factor. That is also understanding that cost center. Then invoicing details, we need to be invoicing details, and the budget also preparing. Banking features also very important factors. So banking transactions and other features like zero value marking charges, voucher, right? That is also comes under the accounting features. Then look at that the inventory features. Inventory features is separate. That I told you that inventory means maintaining. If you go down and stock category, stock group, and all the inventory management. What is the stock item creation, stock group creation, unit of measures, which stock is available, and go down creations. Everything is comes under the inventory features. In inventory we have, as I told you, that we have a two type of inventory management. That is manufacturing inventory and a merchandise inventory. Merchandise inventory means what they are doing. They are reselling. They are purchasing finished products, and we are repacking and we are reselling. That is the merchandise inventory. Manufacturing means they are purchasing an stock item from the different vendors, and they are manufacturing their particular product and reselling. That is a merchandise inventory. Manufacturing inventory. In manufacturing inventory, we have a three different stock. What are they? Number one, raw material. Number two, work in progress. Number three, finished goods. In manufacturing inventory, we have a three stock item. Number one, as I told you, the raw material. Number two, work in progress. Number three, finished goods. But in the case of manufacturing, manufacturing inventory, merchandise inventory, we have only one stock item only, that is finished goods. We don't have any raw material. So that is also we can created that. Here you need to be created multiple go down also. You can created multiple go down. For example, in your organization, we have a, maybe if it is a manufacturing inventory, we have a three go downs. One go down, they are manufacturing. Right, we are holding. We have a three go downs. In the case of taken examples of a manufacturing inventory. In manufacturing inventory, we have a three inventory. What are they? Raw material, work in progress, finished goods. Also, we need to be created three go down. We storerooms. So in first go down or a first storeroom, we are keeping the raw material. And the second go down, we are creating a work in progress items. Not at the finished goods, but it is not a raw material, but in the middle part, that is work in progress goods. That is comes under the second go down. Third go down is the finished products. So in the case of a manufacturing, but taken it is the merchandise inventory. They have only two go downs only. First go down, they are receiving the inventory from the vendors and they are storing the first go down, and after they are repacking and they are checking, they are verifying all the product and they are transferring to the second go down. So that is all comes under the inventory features. These kind of all information you can record in the inventory features. Understand? Then statutory. Statutory, we already discussed about the statutory comes under GST. This GST activation entry, everything is comes under the statutory features. GST, what value added tax, now it is not applicable. So what is applicable? Petroleum or some product. So what is also there? Now we discuss GST only. Then excise and service taxes is also some other product also still is applicable in what also will be applicable in some other petroleum products and some items, tobaccos, some products. So that's why tally software tally what is still there. TDS also we discussed about that. TCS is the different part, and payroll statutory details that's also we discussed about that. So that is comes under F11 features. Then then we have a configurations. We have a general numeric, and if you need to be voucher entry, printing, email, and the product and features, that is comes under the configuration. Payroll configuration, banking for configuration, that's also comes under the configuration part. See, configuration part, if you have a bank reconciliation statement also will be there. Bank reconciliation statement, if you need to be activated, something like that, that's also will comes under here. Then if you look at the gateway of tally, accounting features. So you are creating ledger accounting in this accounting features, gateway of tally, masters, accounting info, ledger. Here they are creating group creation is accounting info, ledger creation is comes under accounting info, cost category, that is also comes under the accounting info. Then statutory info, like TDS, that's also comes under here, and the voucher type that comes under here, and the GST and the TDS what and everything is comes under the statutory info. Understand? So here I'll tell you that. So select this accounting info, statutory. Here I already activated the GST. Okay. Then accounting info, we have a group. Here you need to be create a single or a multiple group item. Here you need to be create a ledger account, like rent account, salary, that comes under there. This is the cost category. You need to be create a cost category which comes under the cost category. Like, if it is a cost category from, take an example of a small industry from a different department, also comes under the different department is comes under different expenses. We can categorize the expenses and income based on the cost category also. That's also comes under the here cost category. Then this is the voucher type created. Statutory info, we have a TDS and the payments details from here. Then next is payroll information. Sorry. Next is payroll. Payroll is comes under the salary. That is also comes under the gateway of Tally. I mean masters payroll info. Payroll info, we have a different sections: employee category creation, employee group creation, employee creation, unit creation, attendance and production type, pay heads, salary details, voucher types. That is also comes under the payroll information. Then inventory items, we have a inventory accounting info, masters, accounting info. Yes, accounting gateway of Tally, masters, inventory info. Inventory info, we have a stock group creation. Here we are creating stock group creation, stock item, unit of measures, voucher type, statutory information. Here also inventory, also statutory information. Here they are comes under the, if a TDS is applicable, you can enter from here. Then transactions, GST also will be applicable from here itself. Okay, got it now. Accounting info, GST also will be applicable in the statutory information. GST also will be applicable, not at TDS. TDS also activated, GST also will be applicable. Then here we are passing the transactions, inventory vouchers, payroll vouchers. We already discussed about that. Inventory vouchers, we are passing the stock journal. What is the inventory vouchers? Inventory vouchers, what is the accounting vouchers? We already told you that all transactions, every transaction we are talking as a accounting vouchers. Right, accounting vouchers. This is the voucher entry. In journal entry, in Tally software, we can call the voucher entry. Voucher entry is categorized based on the voucher keys. All the transaction, purchase, sales, expenses, payment, receipt, all the transaction, banking for contra, all the transactions is comes under the voucher entry. Voucher entry is categorized based on the voucher keys. That is accounting vouchers. Inventory vouchers means, I already told you, that stock journal. You are transferring one godown to another, one branch to another branch. What is that is called a inventory vouchers. One branch to another branch transactions, or one godown to another godown transaction, we can call the inventory vouchers. That is stock journals. Stock journal is comes under the inventory vouchers. Understand? Yes. Next, payroll vouchers. Payroll voucher, we already discussed about that. All your employee related transactions. See, payroll voucher, we already payroll related transaction, attendance voucher, payroll autofill, payroll related transaction. If you are making a salary to your employee, that is all comes under the payroll vouchers. That is also comes under here. That is the payroll entry. Then utilities, banking also will be there. This is the banking transactions. Check bank attendance, payment advice, deposit slip, that is also comes under here. Then reports, we have a reports on gateway of Tally. We have a reports on balance sheet and profit and loss account, stock summary and ratio. That is also, if you have a, this is all comes under up to here, utilities, up to banking here. This is all you are entering. That is your input. So all your output, all your reports, all your transaction you are downloading, all your statement you are downloading from your reports. Balance sheet you will be get it from here. Profit and loss account, stock summary. See, balance sheet. This is the balance sheet. We already discussed about that, the balance sheet. Balance sheet also we have a two side, asset side and liability side. Asset side we have a current asset and non-current asset. Liability side we have a current liability side we have a current liability, and non-current liability also we have a equity. So that is also you have know the equations. Asset minus liability is equal to equity. That's also very important factor. Then profit and loss account, or a if you select a F11 here, you will get a detailed report on that. So profit and loss account also will be there. Profit and loss account, we have opening stock, purchase, closing stock or an ending inventory. These ending inventory, You know that this ending inventory will go into the asset side of the balance sheet. And the net profit also, this is a net loss. Now net loss, not a net profit. Then stock summary, we already know that stock summary. Then this is the ratio analysis. That is a different part for the ratio analysis. And display. Display, we know the trial balance, T book. Trial balances comes under the display. Trial balance, we know that we are preparing for the trial balance for rectification of errors. Day book, accounting book, statement of account, inventory book, statement of inventory, statutory reports. You can see that from here, statutory report, the GST and the TDS reports is comes under the statutory reports. See, 26 form 26Q, you can see the previous details, you enter that, like, the enter details now. Rent and a transaction here will be there, ABC associate and Arun, that is also will be here. Then that is a TDS report. Then cash flow and the fund flow statement, that is also C, cash flow statement, that is also will be there. How, what is the inflow and what is the outflow of a cash, that's also we discussed about that. What is the C, what is the inflow and what is the outflow, what is the net flow. Inflow and outflow means, inflow means how much of the cash you received in your organization, outflow means how much of the cash is going from your organization, that is inflow and outflow, that's also we discussed. Then receipts and payment account, then payroll account. This is the payroll statement, attendance sheet, attendance register. See, attendance sheet will be there, all the employees. This is also we discussed about the previous section. Then this is the attendance register, present and absent. Then this is the statement of payroll, payroll slip. If you need to be pay slip, you can download in the pay slip from, if you take an example, this is the pay slip. You can take a print. See, I hope you that you can see this screen. You can select this print and you can put S and you can download and you can print, take a print from the from this company as well. If you need to be pay slip, this is the pay sheet and also payroll statement and the payment advice, payroll register, employee profiles and employee head. Also, you need to be download from here. So that is also very important factor. I hope you that you guys can understanding that. If you have any confusion related to this one, please put your queries on the Q&A section. I will take care of that. I hope you that now you got an understanding that this is the simply yeah, this is the simple procedure. You guys can understanding that. If you have any confusion related to this one, you can put your queries on the Q&A sessions. I will take care of that if you have any confusion related to this one. So this is the payroll. Then attendance sheet, attendance register, you can download it from here. This is the list of accounts, how many accounts you created. This is all the details will be, you will be get it from here. If you have any duplicate accounts, if you suppose if you created any duplicate accounts, you can see from here itself. If you need to be creating a duplicate accounts also, see ABC associate, Arun, Jeevan associate, this is the previously we created. See audit fees, rent account, this is the previously we created. So that's also you can you can see from the downloads. And this is the negative stocks. As I told you that if you have any negative stocks, and negative will be there, you can download it. You can see from here itself. Then ratio analysis also we discussed. I hope you that you guys can understanding that this is the very important factor, accounting info, payroll info, inventory info. That's all about the tally. Right. So if you have any confusions, dear students, do I need to be explain any area? If you have to be put your doubts on Q&A sessions if you have any doubts. Any questions, my dear students, related to this one? So I repeat again, it's very important factor, means all your practical oriented skills is very important factor. I repeat again, certificates is only an entry pass to attending an interview. That doesn't mean that you are not that doesn't mean that you are eligible to work. So certificates is only an entry pass. If you have all the certificates, you will be get a first priority. But if you have any public knowledge, if you have a skill knowledge, then only you will get an employment. If you know the accounts thoroughly, right? If you don't have any practical knowledge, it's a very important factor, right? So any questions related to the accounts? Any questions related to the accounts? Any question related to the tally? You can ask. No issues. Right. And also, you all are the CAT student. Important factor means what you are learning in the current situations. That is, everything is not only for your examinations. That is also very important factor. So you are discussing, you are learning some important topic in tally. I already discussed you. Very important factor only. Doesn't matter advantages, disadvantages, objectives, and some theory. So it's created this practical oriented section we created for employment perspective. What you're learning in the CAT training classrooms, what you're learning from the CAT training classrooms, that all will help you for the employment perspective when you're going for an organizations as as a job or future career. This will help you to understanding getting an employment. So what you're learning from in these classrooms, the same things you're doing for a company. I'm taking an example. So this also example, it's the company creation, everything. Suppose you got an organization, you got a job from the organization, you're working as an accountant there. You need to be prepared the tally software. You need to be created, even if it is a right to know partnership of firms, or that is comes under capital. Even if it is the private limited company, it will go into shares. That is the difference, right? And also that you need to understand. And expenses details, payment portal, journals, ledger, trial balance, profit and loss account, everything is related to the practicals. So any questions, my dear friends? If you have any questions, I will, if you need to be clarifications any area, we can discuss more. So in TDS, we already discussed about that. I hope you guys get somewhat an idea about the TDS, but the filing of TDS and the TAN applications, everything is comes under the different part, right? And not in the that is the comes under the statutory filing, e-filing classes. You will be get it. So understand that will e-filing classrooms only we can discuss about that. The TDS applications, what is the percentage of the TDS I make or I provide somewhat an ideas only. GST as well, right? GST as well, somewhat an idea only I discussed about that, but the detailed descriptions he will be right to know different part. I felt Tally is very complicated while using it in the government organization. Tally is what I'm trying to say that, see, Tally is an accounting software. If every method, if you are using Tally or any other software, as I told you that in previously, it doesn't matter whether it's a government or a non-government organization. Tally is only an accounting software. If you know there's an accounting in thoroughly, then only you can make this Tally. That is what I'm trying to say, that if you made any mistakes in the journal entry in voucher key at the time of creating a ledger account, you enter a rent account and you wrongly entered a rent account as a direct expenses, it will wrong, right? Because this software will adjusting that. You will get a report, but you need to understand this is the wrong or right, because that is your knowledge. Based on the knowledge only you can understanding that whether it is right, whether it is understanding whether it is perfect or not, then only you can understand. Tally ERP and Tally Prime, Tally ERP and Tally Prime both are only the differences is interface only. So here you can see something in a Tally software, you can see in the background now in the company creations in the simple model, but in Tally Prime that is entirely different. Tally Prime is their like interface is only the different. There have some changes. They keep it in left side and only small areas only in company. After creating company creation only, you can see all this gateway of Tally and the ledger account. So they are changing more interface, that only. Why not Tally Prime? Tally Prime, why you are not learning Tally Prime? As I told you that whether it is the Tally Prime or a Tally ERP9, they are changing only. Rest of the part is same. Tally Prime, they are changing. Maybe the next time onwards, you are going to be learning the Tally Prime. So, but the method and the process is same. There is no different. Only the interface is different. I think that is a blue color. This is the light green color. Right. Understand now. That is only the difference. Right. Is there any other confusion? So that is only the differences between Tally ERP and the Tally Prime. Tally Prime is they are recently changing, introducing the Tally Prime. I think so. But Tally ERP time we are previously used one. So method and the process is same. There is no different. GST, income, GST, TDS, income tax, everything is comes under the Tally ERP9 also. So only some user friendlies, Tally Prime more improved a lot, and the color is also changes and comparatively more user friendly. If you know the Tally ERP9 thoroughly, yes, Tally ERP9 thoroughly. Tally Prime is very simple. They are making very simply in the Tally, Tally Prime. That is only the difference. And also Tally created some, the last classes some person is asked me to related to the auditing. Tally Tally edit log also created. That is for auditors. Tally edit log is for auditors. Auditing we have a separate part. You know that we now get somewhat an idea about that auditing. That is also comes under the auditing. So that's a different. Then is there any confusions, my dear friends? Any questions related to this one? If you have any confusions, please put your queries on the Q&A session. Something related to an accounts. As I told you that accounting and accounting, tax, auditing. These three things are interrelated, connected. Right? Because if you know auditor, if you're working as an auditor, what you're going to do? Right? If you are an auditor, what you're going to do? If you are an auditor, you are going to audit what? Financial statement. Right? Who are making the financial statement? Accountant. Understand now? Any other questions? So this is what an auditor is, a separate auditor. If you are working as a auditor, auditing also Tally have a edit log comes under the auditing section. If you are auditing, what you're going to audit? You are auditing the financial statement. Financial statement is comes under the accounting. So that is why this is an interrelated connector. GST, TDS, GST is deducted. Right? GST and TDS is deducted. Understand? GST and TDS is we are deducting, and this deduction we are passing the journal entry because the GST and TDS is comes under the duties and taxes that we are deducting at the time of payment or at the time of sales, and we are recording into this journal entry because that will comes under the liability, current liability of liability side of the balance sheet as a current liability. That's why it comes under the journal as an accounting. Accounting we pass the journal entry, and we are filing GST to government account. That is we can call e-filing, statutory filing. That is comes under the regulation or income tax or a GST statutory filing. That is a different topic. So this is what I'm trying to say, that this is all these topics are interrelated, connected. Understand? And sir, if a businessman cut a TDS, GST, labor cess for any contractual worker, how will be inside a voucher entry for said? As I told you that if it is a, you are deducting from, we are that person. Suppose understanding that you are working as a contract basis, I'm deducting from your account. I'm going to make a payment. You are working as a contract basis. I'm going to making a payment to you. Understand? I repeat again. You're working in my organization as a contract basis. I'm going to making a payment to you. So you are comes under the sundry creditors because you I'm making payment to you. Sundry creditors, current liability. So same as I told you that which contract basis there is some specific expenses will be there, like repairing charges or something like that. Repairing as a contract basis, I'm making as a repair, I'm debiting to this party name to TDS, right? GST is also same part, labor also same part. If I'm counting, that is comes under, if it is a GST or a TDS or any cess, that is comes under duties and taxes in Tally software. Tally and SAP, which is most useful software? Nice question. See, most useful software in the sense, that is a depends upon company, my dear friends. If you are going for an abroad, majority organization using SAP software. Understand? SAP is a German software. Tally is an Indian software. Majority of Indian company is using Tally, obviously. SAP is not only an accounting software. That is a different. SAP, we have a different software. ABAP is comes under the programming section. So SAP FICO is comes under the finance module, right? So Tally is only an accounting software. SAP is not only an accounting software. That is the differences between Tally and SAP. So if you know the Tally means you know accounts. If you know the Tally software, you can do SAP only. SAP also you can do. What is the differences means in SAP, we are creating ledger account. As I told you that audit fee, ledger account in gateway of Tally masters, in accounting info, we are creating ledger. SAP, we can call it as a chart of accounts. In SAP, we are creating ledger account means chart of accounts. In Tally, we can creating ledger account. That is only the difference. But most accounting software depends upon the company. As I told you that in the multinational company, they are using SAP software. But if you know accounts, you will, if you know accounts, if you have a skill, if you have a knowledge, no need to be, you will get a better employment. The company will provide you the training, SAP. But if you know the SAP, that is an additional advantages also. That's it. That's if you are working as an Indian company, as I told you that the small industry, small companies, still they are using Tally. SAP is the different part. Majority company in MNC company like TCS, they are using SAP. Different part. Okay. Mostly contractual work is purchase nature of businessman. Mostly contractual work is purchase nature for businessman. Contract I cannot understand that question. But nature of payment is contract work. If you are asking like that. Any other questions, my dear friends? So the all technical related doubts will Janvi will answer you that, no worries about that. So if you have any doubts related to the accounts, that's a very important fact. And one more thing I can tell you, I repeat again, this practical and skill oriented education is very important factor for getting an employment. I repeat again, the skill oriented, what you are learning in accounting, while you are learning in accounting, as I told you that journal is very important factor. I repeat again, journal entry is very important factor for any software. As I told you that, sir, which is SAP or Tally, same. Accounting software is very important factor. Accounting, whether whatever accounting software you are using or which software you are learning, the journal is very important factor for employment perspective, whether you are working in a small company or medium company or a multinational company. And the skill oriented education is also very important factor. Skill is an important factor. Spend more time with an accounting, understanding three financial statement. Based on that, 10 10 elements of an accounting. You know that 10 elements: asset, liability, equity, comprehensive income statement, like you know and investment and return, like a dividend, and also expenses, income, gains, losses. So that is the 10 elements of an accounting. If you know the 10 elements thoroughly, accounting is nothing. Understand? So that's all about the today's session. I hope you guys can enjoy a lot, spend more time with that, learn more practicals. Please understand thoroughly. If you face any difficulty for journal entry, look at the +1 and +2 textbook. You have a textbook, +1 and +2 NCERT textbooks, the old one. So old one, around I think 2012 and 13, 2013, in the few years back, there is a proper textbook will be there in NCERT syllabuses. That is accounting. Look at that journal. Look at that an accounting in the +1 textbook. Collect it from where you get in from your maybe your relative or parents is they are learning. Maybe your brother or sister, those brothers, they are elder brother, they are learning in the 2012, I think 2012 and the 13, who done it an accounting in commerce. Collect that textbook. From there they will get a detailed idea about the journals and the financial statement. So look at that, spend more time with that and understanding accounting knowledge thoroughly. Definitely you will be getting better employment opportunities. Right, understand? So I hope you guys you got a somewhat an idea about that. Janvi, can we wind up the sessions? Hello.
Yes, sir. Sure, sir.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. And thank you so much, sir, for the session. And now, students, we'll wind up for the session, and all the classes have been completed. So I'll mention, if you have any doubts, please post it now, or else what we can do is I'll just send you the email ID. Whatever doubts you have, you can post your queries on this email ID. The email ID is cat.course@icmi.in. Okay. I'll just mention it. Please hold on. I've mentioned the email ID and it has been published. So please note, if you have any queries regarding regarding the study material or the course content or anything else regarding CAT course part 2, please mention your queries on this email ID which I have mentioned. Yeah, and thank you so much, Vivek sir, for the session.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye bye.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, all students. And that's all for today's session. We have completed all the sessions for all the topics. And thank you all, students. Have a nice day. Bye-bye. Thank you. Just note down the email ID. Whatever queries you have, please post it. Please mention it on that email ID. We'll look at it.